Kitsch is on his way into the red chair. Here's his bio.
All right, here's Taylor Kitsch's story. He was one of the fastest rising stars in Hollywood, and yes, he's been on Rolling Stone's Hot 100. He was on Hollywood Reporter's new A-list. All that is great, but none of it would have happened if it wasn't for some well-timed bad luck. So Taylor grew up in Kelowna, British Columbia, right? Had the same dream a lot of Canadian kids have. He wanted to play in the NHL. My boys in the big leagues. He actually got pretty far. He was 19 years old when he joined a team called the Langley Hornets. They're a junior team in the BCHL, and for many, a potential stepping stone to the pros. I mean, put it this way, Brett Hull played in that league. But what happens to people with the dream? Taylor blew out his knee. Moves to New York City, starts taking acting classes, lives in a tiny apartment with 9 other struggling models and actors. Yeah, think Zoolander, but way less funny.
You is talking loco, and I like it.
And then, of course, actors go where? Hollywood. So, goes to Los Angeles, and he gets himself a role in the teen thriller, The Covenant. And then came his big break, playing a troubled high school football player on the critically acclaimed show, Friday Night Lights.
Enjoy Jesus.
Yeah, enjoy your depraved hedonism.
Oh, I will.
And lately, things have really taken off. He played the card-throwing Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and his latest film is The Bang Bang Club, about a group of daredevil photojournalists in South Africa near the end of apartheid.
It's our job to sit there and watch people die.
How are you? Good. Welcome to the show, young man.
Good to be here.
It's a hell of a movie.
Thank you.
A hell of a role to play.
Absolutely.
You know, we'd sort of set it up there in the bio, but you play a guy who takes famous photographs in war zones, and then I don't want it ends badly without giving it away.
We could say it.
He kills himself.
Yeah.
And when you have to step into a head of a guy like that, is it difficult?
To say the least. I think a lot revolves just simply around prep. I had to get 2 months to prep to get to Kev, to where I wanted or what I saw as him before I really start to get directed and working with the 2 remaining Bang Bang Club members. So you lost the weight, you shadow a photographer, and then you just truly, he shot on a Leica M6 for a lot of his main shots, so I finally found one in a small camera shop and then just lived with it. You just really envelop yourself with it. And then finally when we get to Africa, it just kind of it's a bombardment. You know, you meet the 2 guys that were his best friends in real life, Zhao and Greg Marinovich. And then you just keep really relying on the prep that you did the first two and a half months.
Well, they're being depicted in this movie as well, and depending on the time frame, they're more or less interested in this film coming out. So, and you know that. Like, so you know as an actor, your job is to make an entertaining film, but to also tell a story. But you're telling a story of real people.
Absolutely, and I think that's what raises the stakes with it all. You know, I don't know if there's a preconceived, I guess it's a part of it to entertain, but as an actor, especially for this role, I'm never going into it just trying to like be entertaining. If I can just do and play it as honestly as I can to who Kev was, and not just depict the drug-addicted guy that everyone, if you read up on him on Wikipedia or Google the guy, that comes up, it's pretty prevalent. So in that sense, it was like, for me, I wanted, and for Greg and for Zhao and the people that were close to him, show the whole arc of who he was, the empathetic, the caring guy that he was, and really just, you know, it's obviously you get the script and you can only do so much with these scenes, but just to blow out all the scenes you can.
Wait, in the post-Friday Night Lights world for you, is this a conscious choice to make a film like this and to start to tell stories like this?
Absolutely. I think it is. Even before FNL, you know, I was lucky enough to be part of like a racial tension movie of Gospel Hill with a great cast, and hopefully we can keep moving and keep doing these kind of things. Why I got into it is watching a Daniel Day, watching a Sean Penn in Dead Man Walking. You know, you're sympathetic to a serial rapist, basically, and Man Walking, and just for that performance to bring you in, and that's what drives me the most, by far.
Is to try to bring different layers to people?
I think so. I think that's the most intriguing thing to do, and the most challenging.
Well, what do you do when, I mean, you're young when you get a big break, and then, so you're learning and developing a character at the same time that you're just learning and developing as a man.
Right.
So what was that process? And you're doing it, and you've done a really good job of avoiding paparazzi, but it's still public.
Right.
How is that, like, what's that like for you?
I think we talked earlier about it too. It's just the choices. I think everything is a choice. And I think before I think too, I was lucky enough to get truly started. And granted, there was a great struggle to begin with before getting that first break, but to know or have a good sense of who I was before all these things started to happen, so I could say no to the things that didn't appease me to do. I can say yes, that really moves me like Bang Bang. So I think that just really simplified my choices. Like, I know what I want, and I think that's a huge, huge thing to get through.
I'm curious about how you learned that, because I've interviewed many NHL players on this show, and over the course I've talked to a lot of hockey players, and any sportscaster will tell you that the single most difficult interview you'll ever conduct is with a junior hockey player, because a lot of times they're afraid to say something, but moreover, man, they're 14, 15, education is not a priority. They don't learn about the outside world. It's just hockey. That was the path you were on.
Absolutely.
And when you blew your knee out, did you know about the world? Did you have to...
Oh, good question. I always loved it. I've never set out to be on the path I'm on. I've always wanted to just do good work and keep it that simple and work with great people and grow through those experiences. I think what has shaped me to go full circle with the question is the struggle. I think just as a hockey player, the losses are what shaped you a lot more than the wins.
Really?
Absolutely, I think so. And how you react. I studied in New York for a while. I was homeless in New York, living on the subway. I was homeless in LA, living in my car. So I think there's moments at those junctures where you have to understand of like how you're going to react to it.
When you were homeless in the streets, did you feel lonely? Did you feel like you weren't going to break through?
I don't even know if it was a breakthrough. I don't even know if I was that conscious of it. It was something that was just so like, it's what I dealt with. That's what's in front of me. All right, yeah. I'll sleep here for the night. Got class at 10. Go.
That's going to leave
I know.
right?
It's bizarre.
It really is. But then you're a model, and then you're getting work.
Barely. I really didn't work that much, and to be honest with you, the gigs that I did get were very, to be blunt, you don't get paid much. No. And by the way, if you're living or working through an agency there, which I was, you're really just, they're like, okay, so you want to live here, okay, we'll set you up, but it's going to cost $1,700 a month, which you don't have. So when you work, we'll just dock it out of that. And so, okay, I'll get a job once a month. What's my paycheck after we dock? Oh, $80? Oh, that's exciting.
Was there one subway stop in particular that you liked sleeping at better?
Kidding. Where I'd be begging for some salami off the...
But does that help you appreciate your position? Because the one thing you've done is, I see the abs photos and all that, so you're clearly savvy enough to know how to be who you are as a public figure, but you don't get paparazzi. Is there a way to avoid it?
Absolutely, it's a choice. I live in Austin, Texas, for one. And I think
when the show's over, will you move to LA?
Yeah, no, refuse.
Really?
Yep. My base is Austin, Texas. I just bought property there, and that's it. The Coach Taylor, who's on FNL, uprooted his family as well, and he lives there. So it's a great city. Very liberal, very creative, very just open, very Canadian-esque in regards to just the people. They're very real, which is what you want to surround yourself with.
As a Canadian living, in Austin, which is not really Texas, even though it is.
Exactly.
What's your view of America from a guy who's been there long enough now, but still a Canadian, and clearly those values are important to you?
I think that's just it. You keep those values. I think you see it a lot clearer coming from where, we've come. And just keeping things simple, It's funny even talking to Kyle Chandler. You live in Austin, for example, and you go to LA for meetings for this or that to get the next gig. You're there for a week, but what you're doing in Austin is you're really creating this own little base, a trust kind of bubble, if you will, but it's great because you go to LA and you see it for what it is, and you actually listen a lot more, because in LA you find yourself not listening as much as you would, and it's true. And once you go there, you really, it's quite blatant in your face.
So is this self-preservation for you?
I think so. I think to stay creative, to keep surrounding yourself by those creative people, and not to be reminded. Every day you're in LA, there's billboards, there's, you know, you go to Starbucks, you go anywhere for coffee, you go in the restaurant and people all look up, see who you are, where, if you're this or that, and it's just, you're reminded every second you're there, and it makes you sick of it. So it's like,
So they're used to you in Austin then?
What?
They're used to you in Austin.
Yeah.
But so could you relate? I mean, you're a hockey player making your way. Could you relate to the football aspect? Was that part of what made this work?
I think so. I think the teamwork stuff, the leadership, which Riggs definitely didn't have at the beginning. The work ethic, which is a huge thing. And you were saying just being fit or whatnot. I think too, you know, I learned from some really, truly great actors of this work ethic more than anything. Being with Hugh on Wolvie really took me under his wing. And what I really took from him, and to lead a film like we have John Carter coming out, which is an enormous film, and to be that guy finally, to be, you know, the lead a set. You have all these preconditioned things of what you should be as this lead, or how you should hold a set and everything else. But I was very lucky to have Hugh there to kind of be there for me, and just to show me that truly just to lead through the work ethic and to let no one ever outwork you. And I think that's what I've taken from it.
Nice. All right, stick around. You know, we talked about the photographer angle. We'll find out if he's found any newfound respect for the paparazzi, being a photographer. Anthropology with Taylor Kitsch when we come back. The program, Anthropology, my friend. Who's the best hockey player in Hollywood?
In Hollywood, me.
You are?
Yeah.
You played against celebrities and just smoke them?
Well, I played 20 years, so I better be. I'm all right. I'm all right.
Who's your biggest rival who's famous?
That's a good one. Cuba's getting better.
Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah, he's getting better.
When you were a model, did you ever feel exploited?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
What's
Every
going
time.
Really?
Absolutely.
What's going through your mind?
Why am I doing this?
People do romanticize the idea of models in New York, don't they?
It's... Just don't.
Given that you're from Kelowna, British Columbia,
Yeah.
a lovely place where I started my career, please justify your love for the Red Wings.
Oh, thank you. Cranbrook, BC. I can go to BC there. Stevie Y, captain of the Red Wings.
There you go. That makes perfect sense.
There you go.
What's the best photo you've ever taken?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge of that.
How about this? Do you have a newfound respect for paparazzi now that you've been a photographer?
No.
No. Do you have a newfound respect for the Lady Gaga song Paparazzi?
Yes. No.
What's the kitschiest thing you own?
I have some pretty bad art.
Really?
Yeah.
Your
Texas, really cheesy Texas stuff in my place.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What does Texas mean? It's the only state that's their slogan is a threat. Don't mess with Texas.
Truly, that's
Yeah,
great.
It's weird. How do you describe Texas?
I can describe Austin a lot better. Very proud.
Yeah.
That's in a nutshell. Very proud.
What's the best motorcycle movie?
Oh, good one. Man, I just watched, and I was trying to, we did the film Battleship, and I wanted to have a motorcycle in it, but they wouldn't let me. Officer and a Gentleman I just watched, and he's on a Triumph the whole time.
What kind of bike are you riding now?
I have 2 Triumphs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like speed triples?
No, I'll die.
Oh, yeah. A childhood item you still have?
Childhood item I still have. Old hockey sticks. Yeah.
Last
That's
one.
so Canadian, isn't it?
That's all right, though. In terms of sports, refusing to shower in the locker room, personal choice or coward's way out?
Who does that?
Showers in the...
Why wouldn't you rinse after a game?
Well, some cats go home.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I think he's saying coward's way out.
Coward's way out.
The film is called Bang Bang Club. Taylor Kitsch, everybody. Stroumboulopoulos.com is the website. We'll see you next time.